Welcome back to Mastering Instagram Insights to Elevate Your Brand Identity. I'm your host, Deirdre Gregg, and in today's episode, Understanding Your Analytics, Turning Numbers into a Narrative, we're discussing one of the most powerful yet often misunderstood tools for growing your brand on Instagram, your analytics. Now, before you think about skipping ahead, hang on for a second. I know, analytics sounds like one of those words that makes your eyes glaze over. But here's the truth. Once you understand what those numbers mean, your whole perspective on your content and your audience changes completely. Think about it this way. Understanding your analytics is just as essential as understanding your finances. Now, would you think of running your business without knowing your numbers? Of course not. That would be like driving at night with your headlights off. You're moving, but you have no idea where you're headed. Creating content on Instagram without checking your insights is pretty much the same thing. If you want to stay consistent, sustainable, and relevant, your analytics will give you that clarity, that alignment between what you intend to do and what is actually working. Because here's the thing. If you want to stay top of mind for your audience, you have to understand their behavior. And that starts with knowing your data. Now, I know some people hear analytics and immediately picture complicated charts and endless numbers, but really, it's about conversation. Those bars and lines in the chart are your audience's way of talking back to you. When you check your insights, you're learning things like who's watching my reels, which carousel slide resonates with my audience, what kind of content makes people pause, engage, and share. It's all valuable feedback, helping you see what's connecting, what's resonating, and what might need to be tweaked. Once you start looking at it that way, analytics stop feeling like numbers and starts feeling like storytelling. Now, I want you to get comfortable because I'm going to get a little personal here. I spend a lot of time creating content that's educational, informative, and intentional. And yes, if I'm going to be honest, a little selfish because I want to build something real, something that grows organically, something that uplifts my Bronx community. But here's what I've learned. Two things can be true. My audience might not always hit follow, but that doesn't mean that they don't find my value or don't find value in my post. The real challenge is staying focused on purpose, creating impact without getting distracted by those numbers that make me feel like, I'm not doing well or I'm not doing enough, which brings me to something a lot of us struggle with, vanity metrics. Vanity metrics are those impressive looking numbers, those likes, those followers, those views that make us feel good for a moment, but don't really tell us about our own business and how it's doing. They can create this illusion of success, but what does that really mean? If those views are not translating into engagement, community, or even a single new customer, then it's just surface level data. And furthermore, those numbers can be easily inflated. You can get fake followers, bot engagements, or post content that goes viral for reasons that have nothing to do with your brand. So instead of chasing the illusion, focus on the substance. Real success comes from meaningful interaction, the comments, the shares, the DMs that turn into real conversations. That's where trust lives. That's where connection grows. And if vanity metrics don't tell the story, then what does? For me, it starts with my professional dashboard. That's my behind the scenes control center where the numbers finally make sense. I check my dashboard weekly, not daily because I don't want to be obsessive. I just want to understand what's working and what's not. It's not about choosing the numbers or chasing them. It's about understanding the story behind them, the relationships forming, the collaborations building, the connections, and trust deepening. That's been a mindset shift for me. Learning to let the data guide me and not define me. Now, honestly, as a small creator, I'm figuring it out. And that's perfectly okay, right? All right, so let's talk more about the professional dashboard, your behind the scenes command center on Instagram. First things first, make sure you're using a creator or business account. That's what's going to unlock your dashboard and give you access to all the insights that help you actually grow your brand. Inside, you'll find everything you need to understand how your content is performing, who's engaging, when they're most active, and what really resonates with your followers. There are 4 main sections. Think of them as the 4 pillars of your content universe: views, interactions, new followers, and content you share. And here's the best part: you can customize what you see, filter by content type, adjust the time range, sort by performance. You can make the data work for you. Whether you're tracking a campaign or trying to figure out what post went viral, it's all right there. So let's break this down a little bit further. Views. This is your who's watching me section. It shows you how many people are checking out your posts, stories, and reels, and where those views are coming from. And here's a tip: a lot of these people are not watching your reels or not even following you yet. So if you're trying to grow on Instagram and trying to grow your audience, this is key. Interactions. I call this your vibe check in data form. These are your likes, comments, shares, and saves, all actions that show that your audience is really engaging. A post with fewer likes but more shares or saves is doing something right. New followers. This one tracks your growth: who's joining, who's leaving, and what might be driving those changes. And a quick reminder: don't panic about unfollows. People's interests shift all the time. Focus on the ones who stay. That's your real community. Your dashboard is going to show where your followers are located by city and state, their age range, and other demographics, and when they're most active. That's the kind of information that helps you refine and define your strategy when needed. Content you share. This is your big picture view. It helps you see patterns, spot trends, and understand what your audience wants more of. So remember, your dashboard isn't just numbers. It's your story told through data. It's what's connecting, what's growing, and where you should go next. Because when you understand your numbers, you don't just analyze, you activate. You turn insight into momentum. Now, let's look inside your dashboard. Let's talk about how to turn that data into direction. When my follower growth started to slow down, I started checking my insights more. Not obsessively, but with intention. But instead of focusing on likes or follower counts, I looked deeper. I paid attention to the engagements, the shares, the comments, the saves. Because let's be real, a like is nice, but a share, that's impact. It has value and is relatable. It means your message resonated enough for someone to want to spread it to others. And a save, that means your content was valuable enough for someone to want to come back to it later. That's the shift from vanity to value. Now let's talk about the content format that helps you get there. Reels, they're your reach builders. Keep them short, engaging, and full of energy, ideally under 90 seconds. Hook people in the first 3 seconds with something funny, relatable, or surprising. That will stop them from scrolling and pay more attention to your content. Carousels, perfect for storytelling. You can use it to break down tips, share before and after moments, or take your audience on a journey. Single photos, these help with consistency and visual branding. They keep your main grid clean and cohesive. Stories, these are your 24-hour windows that build trust with your followers. Use polls, questions, behind the scene moments to bring people closer to you. Lives are just real time connection. They give your community a chance to engage with you directly. Plus, you can repurpose the content later. Channels, think of these as your VIP spaces, a direct line to your superfans. Now, full transparency. I post reels, carousels, and stories. I haven't posted single photos yet, but that's coming. And my account doesn't qualify for lives or broadcast channels yet. Key word here is yet. The takeaway here is know your strengths. Use your insights to double down on what's working. Now let's tackle that mysterious word everyone obsesses about, the algorithm, or should I say algorithms, plural, because there's not just one. Instagram actually has 4: stories, feed, reels, and explore. Each one has its own personality and ranking system based on engagement, relevance, and user behavior. Here's how they break down according to Instagram. Stories, these build loyalty and connection. Instagram looks at how often you interact with someone, your DMs, reactions, taps, and views to decide whose story shows up first at the top of your page. So if you don't see an account you follow, it just means your followers might be less active or you need to interact with them more. Reels, Instagram's favorite child. Reels expands your reach beyond your current audience. Instagram looks at things like how likely someone is to watch to the end, share it, or tap on the trending audio. That's why early engagement is so important. It tells Instagram your content is worth showing up and showing to more people. And here's a new feature I love. Link a reel. It tells you how to connect with multiple reels together into a series. For example, I once made a reel about visiting a restaurant in the Bronx during New York Restaurant Week. Then I went back for happy hour and later Taco Tuesday, and I linked each video together. It turned into a little mini series that improved my watch time and kept people engaged. Feed, this one rewards consistency and community. Instagram ranks posts based on how likely you are to comment, share, like, or tap someone's profile, even if you don't follow them. Your favorites list also matters. That's the group of accounts you've tagged as favorites. So make sure you tap your fans and know that they should tap you also. Explore, this is your discovery zone where people find accounts and content they've never seen before. It's driven by curiosity. So if you're looking to grow, think about content that's visually engaging, quick to understand, and easy to share. And remember, if a post doesn't perform the way you hoped, that's not failure, that's feedback. Your numbers are your audiences talking back to you in real time. It may be time to pause and revisit your content strategy. Let's circle back on engagement because that is the heart of it all. Whether you don't post every day or not, but don't post and ghost. Instagram rewards genuine interaction. Reply to comments, answer DMs, share other creators' content, show up. When you engage, Instagram sees you as part of the community, not just someone broadcasting into it. And here's the thing. Every post should have a purpose, whether it's building community, driving conversation, or inspiring advocacy. Always include a clear call to action. You've done the work, now make the ask. A few call to actions that I like to share is follow for more tips. Share this video with your community. Tag a friend who'd love this video. Simple, clear, powerful. Because at the end of the day, mastering your insight isn't about chasing numbers. It's about building connections. It's about understanding what your audience cares about and creating content that keeps them coming back. When you truly know your audience, their habits, their timing, their responses, you're not just posting content anymore. You're building a brand, a voice, and a community that lasts. Instagram has built some really helpful tools right into your professional dashboard, from monthly performance recaps to best practices that guide you toward growth. And honestly, I'm still experimenting. I'm still trying to figure this all out, testing different formats, days, and times to see what really connects with my audience. Because growth isn't a one-time achievement. It's an ongoing conversation. I want to thank everyone who tuned in today to Mastering Instagram Insight to elevate your brand identity. I'm Deirdre Gregg. Join me next time for Showing Up for Your Brand, where we discuss how to turn engagement into long-term brand loyalty. If you found today's episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe, share it with your community, and leave a comment, because great brands don't just grow alone, they grow together. Thank you.